Good day, you're watching Leadership TV News. I am Cynthia Onoado. Tension is brewing within the People's Democratic Party (PDP) ahead of its November 15 to 16 National Convention in Ibadan, as the former Jigawa State Governor and party stalwart Sule Lamido has threatened to institute legal action against the party's leadership over his inability to obtain the nomination form for the position of National Chairman. Lamido, who stormed the PDP National Secretariat, Wadata Plaza, Abuja, with his supporters around 1 a.m. on Monday, was reportedly denied access to purchase the form after finding key offices locked and relevant officials unavailable. Speaking to journalists after the failed attempt, the visibly displeased Lamido accused the party's National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, and the National Organizing Secretary Umaru Bature of complicity in the matter. He said, "I came here to purchase my form because by the party constitution, sales of forms are normally done at the party headquarters. But to my surprise, the office of the National Organizing Secretary was officially locked. I met both the Organizing Secretary and the National Secretary, and they claimed they had no idea where the forms were, how they were printed, or where they were being sold." The former governor described the situation as weird, noting that even the party's chief custodian of organizational processes, the National Organizing Secretary, was being shut out. The controversy followed the PDP National Executive Committee NEC meeting of August 25th, where the party resolved to zone its 2027 presidential ticket to the south and allocated national chairmanship to the north. Subsequently, northern PDP leaders convened in Abuja and micro-zoned the position to the northwest, paving the way for the endorsement of former Minister of Special Duties Tanimu Turaki SAN as consensus candidate. The move was reportedly orchestrated by northern governors led by Amadu Fintiri of Adamawa State. However, Lamido and his supporters have rejected the consensus arrangement, describing it as a breach of internal democracy. He said, "If there are consultations, there can be consensus, but there were none. The Northwest Zone, which I represent, never met. We were supposed to meet on Wednesday, but our meeting was preempted by another one fixed for Tuesday by a different group. That's not how consensus works." Amid internal wrangling, reports indicated that the Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike was backing his ally, former Benue State Governor Samuel Otom, for the same chairmanship position for the deepening divisions within the opposition party. Lamido, who maintained that his intention was to strengthen and stabilize the PDP ahead of 2027, accused some party leaders of hijacking NEC functions and sidelining key stakeholders. He continued, "Any change in dates or timeline must be approved by NEC, but somehow individuals have taken over NEC functions. If I don't get the form, I'll go to court. Simple." He, however, maintained that his grievances were rooted in the desire to restore discipline and internal democracy within the PDP. Lamido hinted that since the convention organizing committee chaired by Governor Fintiri currently operates from Legacy House in Mitama, he might explore alternative channels, including contacting the committee directly to obtain his form. Moving on now in the news, the JAMB, or rather the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has released the result of 85 underage candidates, those who were less than 16 years old by September 2025, who successfully completed the comprehensive screening process established by the Board for exceptional admission. In a press statement on Monday, JAMB spokesperson Dr. Fabian Benjamin said that after meticulous evaluation, 85 candidates deemed qualifying have been duly notified to proceed to their respective institutions to complete the admission process and print their individual JAMB admission letters. According to him, the policy of exceptional admission is consistent with global best practices, where such cases are treated as rare exceptions rather than the norm. Any of the 182 finalist candidates who, for valid reasons, missed the final interview are advised to submit a formal request through the JAMB support ticketing system under the newly created category titled 2025 Underage Complaint. Such complaints will be reviewed individually and decisions will be made strictly on the merit. This window is open only to the 182 finalists who, for one reason or another, missed the final interview, the statement said. He added that candidates who scored 320 and above in the UTME but failed to upload their O-level results and were subsequently disqualified from proceeding are now given the opportunity to upload them within 2 days and notifying the board through the ticketing platform. The board reiterated its commitment to ensuring that the admission process remains credible, transparent, and inclusive while maintaining the integrity of academic standards across all tiers of tertiary education in Nigeria. The Lagos State Emergency Management Agency LASEMA said one person died while 26 others have been rescued after a two-story building collapsed at Coast Street, Oyingbo, Lagos in the early hours of Monday. The permanent secretary of LASEMA, Dr. Olufemi Oke Osayintolu, disclosed this on Monday afternoon in Lagos. Oke Osayintolu, who led the coordinated rescue operation, said the agency received a distress call at about 12:11 a.m. and immediately mobilized rescue personnel to the state. He explained that 21 victims were evacuated to various general hospitals where they are receiving free medical care in line with the state's emergency response policy. 5 others were treated on the spot by our ambulance team and discharged after medical attention, he said. He confirmed that one fatality had been recorded with the deceased body taken to the mortuary. According to him, rescue operations are still ongoing with a coordinated approach to prevent additional casualties. He stressed that the agency's measured pace was deliberate, ensuring that trapped victims are not endangered by heavy equipment. I want to ensure assure Lagosians that we have the situation under control. We are on top of all challenges and working carefully to reach ground zero, Oke Osayintolu added. Meanwhile, Mr. Muhammad Olatunde, head of operations, National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA in Lagos, confirmed that both the federal and state rescue teams are working in close collaboration to ensure an effective response. He urged residents and families of victims to remain calm and cooperate with emergency responders. Olatunde also revealed that NEMA will provide relief materials and support for displaced victims once the rescue phase is concluded. In other news stories, in a growing storm of controversy, the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, is facing fresh allegations regarding the misuse of FIFA funds, reigniting public scrutiny of the country's football governance. The recent uproar began with former Super Eagles captain Sunday Olise's claims on the Home Turf podcast, where he accused the NFF of pocketing $1 million intended for players following Nigeria's qualification for the 2002 World Cup. According to Olise, the funds, which were supposed to be shared among players, never reached them, with many from the qualifying team excluded from the World Cup squad. The situation escalated this week as Nigerian football fans took to social media, particularly X, to question the NFF's handling of millions in FIFA and CAF grants. They pointed out the dilapidated state of stadiums across the country and the absence of Nigerian referees for the upcoming 2025 Africa Cup of Nations (AFCON) as indicators of mismanagement. Central to the debate is the Benin KB Mini Stadium, recently highlighted by FIFA on its social media, which has been criticized for its substandard quality despite significant funding. In response to the backlash, the NFF insisted that it allocates funds for specific purposes and undergoes annual audits, yet it has not provided detailed reports to the public. This lack of transparency has intensified calls for accountability and reform within the football governing organization. Wale Agbede, its sports broadcaster, expressed skepticism about the NFF's practices, noting it's a whole lot of money, almost $25 million in the last 10 years. It is hard to pinpoint any development projects the NFF has started and completed. Agbede told an online newspaper. For the saying, he underscored the complexity of assessing the NFF's actions, stating, have they acted in good faith? Who knows? It's hard to tell. Have they been shady? It's also hard to confirm or deny. The broadcaster highlighted that while FIFA sends auditors to evaluate fund usage tied to specific projects, tangible outcomes remain elusive. Compounding the situation, the Kebbi State Football Association chairman Abubakar Ladan clarified that the management of the Benin Kebbi Stadium rests solely with the NFF, despite the state government providing the land for its construction. He emphasized that the stadium, inaugurated in 2023 and home to Kebbi United FC, was operational and hosted various competitions. The recent outcry over the stadium's state has prompted calls for a thorough inquiry into the NFF's financial practices, a move that Egbede believes is warranted. Finally, now in the news, 2 United States Navy aircrafts were involved in separate crashes over South China Sea on Sunday, military officials have confirmed. Fortunately, all crew members survived both incidents. According to a statement from the U.S. Navy's Pacific Fleet, the first crash involved an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter that went down during routine operations from the aircraft's carrier USS Nimitz. Rescue teams swiftly responded and subsequently recovered all 3 crew members without any casualty. Roughly 30 minutes later, a Boeing FA-18F Super Hornet fighter jet also crashed into the South China Sea while conducting routine operations from the same carrier. The Navy reported that both pilots safely were ejected from the aircraft and were promptly rescued. All personnel involved are safe and in stable condition, the Navy confirmed, adding that investigations into the causes of both crashes are currently underway. The twin incidents occurred as U.S. President Donald Trump continued his first Asian tour since the start of his second term, while Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth prepared for a multi-nation visit across Asia. Earlier this year, 2 U.S. warplanes also fell off the aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman during operations in the Middle East, reigniting safety concerns within the Navy's aviation units. That's all the news we have for you on Leadership TV. For more of our news stories, you can log on to our website, www.leadership.ng. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.